Year! I'm Chris, 47 Club Runner, and I thought I've got to do a video for the new year. So, you know, us YouTubers, when we get to milestones, we have to come up with videos. So I thought, what could it be? And it kind of stood out instantly. So it's got to be 20 miles, 0.22. So I thought it was a good opportunity to kind of speak to you guys about another race that I've added, my training, and just have a general chat. So before we get into that, how was your Christmas? How was your break? Did you get running stuff? Unfortunately I didn't, because 2 weeks before Christmas my car broke and I need a new turbo, so that's like 1,500 quid. So Christmas was cancelled for me, present wise, and Nike happened to have their 50% off end of season sale. That was tough. The amount of times that a pair of Alpha Flies were in my basket, £134, but resisted. So I've got plenty of trainers. I don't need another pair, but it would have been nice, wouldn't it? So let me down in the comments what you got, running gear, etc. And so today, this is going to be my third or fourth longest run ever. Will be my longest solo effort, but got the aftershock headphones, listen to some tunes. Luckily it's not raining at the moment, but I got my Ultimate Direction Ultra jacket, which is 100% waterproof, and I thought why not test out my Ultra gear, including my kind of hip belt, their hydration one. I'd like to know with the hydration vests, the belts, are you supposed to wear them at the back or at the side? Because I'm wearing this one at the side. So I find when you're having the back, they kind of jingle around a bit too much. So let me know, but I always wanted one of these, because I find that the vest, if you don't put liquid in both sides, then it just ends up kind of jiggling around from side to side. So be ideal for my ultra races. I've entered into another one because I got the Farnborough half marathon at the end of January, and I thought I needed a race. I need stock cars March time, and we've got the Surrey half then. That was my first half marathon that I ever did. It was going well until about 8 miles, and then this blew up. Ended up running my first half in 1 hour 30.01. I know, 01. And so I want to get my own back there. And then that takes me on to kind of May time, which is the Ultra. So I may do, not 100% sure, there's a race towards the end of February, which is a local 10k, I think it's the Thorpe 10k. So I might enter into that. But I'll see how the things pan out and what Boris puts in place for us, whether all these running events can continue. Right, so what's the plan training wise? Well, a little while back I come across this app. I basically run a tempo session, and I was running over 3-4 miles, and I was just a bit disappointed in my time. And then one of my club mates mentioned what my VDOT score was, and so I was intrigued, went on the internet, and that referred to the Jack Daniels formula. And so, like me, you know, looked around the internet and come across this app, and I thought I'd give it a go, because, you know, like most of these calculators and stuff, you take it with a pinch of salt. So at the time I was in 18:47 5k shape, and so I put my time in, and then what it does, it brings up your kind of paces for different kind of distances. And I happened to be doing a 2k time trial, and so I know I was in about 7:10, 6:50 kind of shape. So I run it, and then when I come home I thought, you know what, I'll test out this app. And the app was 100% accurate. It said I'd run a 6:58, and I run a 6:58. And on this app, it kind of breaks down your easy pace and gives you your interval reps and all them paces. So I'm going to do a video about that soon, just in the process of putting that together. But my training, as you know, I like to still keep speed in my training, so I will still continue a kind of 80-20ish formula, because I've done math training, I've done running 50-mile weeks, spreading it over 5 days, 6 days, and I found the best benefit is the long run. So it needs to be 1.5 hours to 2 hours, just one run once a week, even twice a week if you can manage it, and that has really helped with my fitness. We're keeping it nice and easy. I use the calculator to determine my pace rather than heart rate, which says between 7:45 and I think 8:30, which is about right, depending on how you feel on that given day. So looking forward to getting some decent miles in, because what I don't want to do for the ultra, which is in May, is just to do loads of easy long miles, because as I say, I like to keep my speed, and all that will end up happening is that basically I just build a workhorse. And put it in the easiest terms, the easy runs you do, build the diesel engine, the faster stuff is the race car. So in an ideal world for me, to be able to have the endurance and the speed, I want 80% diesel engine and 20% sports car. And if you're just doing endurance stuff, you're just building more of a workhorse, a diesel engine, but obviously you haven't got the turbo there. So obviously each to your own, it depends what you want to do. So I want to continue doing 5Ks, 10Ks, and I have got some lofty goals. Probably the toughest one is the 36 10K, but you have to believe in yourself. I like to set myself targets to go for, but obviously you need to be careful. You're not going to demotivate yourself if you don't hit them, but I'm fine with that, because I think a lot of the other ones are very achievable. My 10K, sorry, my half marathon coming up, I mentioned before in my last video I was going to go for a 1:30 to start off with, but I had an encouraging run last week on Thursday, and I did an 8-mile tempo session, and I managed to average 6:40 per mile, which is about 1:27.45 for half. So that's the pace that I'm going to be going off at, and so the 1:24 towards the back end of the next year, I think it's achievable. And if I'm putting in that sort of training, fingers crossed to get in London, then a Sudbury is definitely on the card. So what races have you entered into? Are you changing up your training this year, or are you just going to stick to the same old? It's always the way, isn't it? You kind of think to yourself, well, there's going to be a path that goes all the way to where I need to be. No, it's a busy road. I'm wearing my Pegasus 37s, and I nearly slipped over a couple of times, and now I'm just in the middle of a big field, nice and boggy. So I'm a nice clean Pegasus 37s all day. Lucky I changed them, because I was actually going to wear my light grey ones and they'd be ruined. So right, so the chairs we need to get to are right in the very distance, probably as far as you can see. So probably about another, I don't know, half a mile to get there, and then I'll be able to show you what they are. It's really weird. I'm hearing music. I've just realised it's coming out of my headphones. Alright, let's carry on. Little disappointed. I've got a wet arse now, and I thought these were bigger. I drove past it so many times and I just thought they were like massive. But I've taken you here. Got a wet bum now. So let's just show you around them. So they've got stuff written on. I haven't got a clue what any of it actually means, but I'm sure one of you can kind of fill me in the comments. But it's just an unusual thing to have in a middle of a field. I see a lot of people kind of come here for walks. Well, there's not a lot of people now, probably because it's chucking it down with rain. And I feel very lucky that I've got my ultra jacket on to keep me warm. But I suppose I better do it up now so it don't go inside. But a lot of people seem to be out. It's a new year. It's 8 miles to get here. And now I'm going to turn around and run back. It's more of a scenic route on the way back. Running into the drizzle, which is always nice. But it's always nice to run next to the river. That was so nearly a you being framed moment. I sat up at the camera and I thought I'd go on more kind of slippery stuff. I nearly ended up flat on my face. But I suppose it's been worth it for 250 quid. Can't honestly wait to get back onto the tarmac because the pegged 37s in these slippery conditions are not working very well. It's like an ice rink. And I think I've still got about half a mile to a mile to go of this, so let's crack on. Why did I come up with this bright idea? 10 miles in, 1 hour 23, really drizzling, wind's picking up and it's cold, and I'll just get my camera out, foot straight in a deep puddle, so now I've got a wet cold foot. But the things we do for YouTube. Wow, how many swans? Check this out. Hello guys. Suppose it makes the run a little bit more enjoyable. Look at them all. Obviously very popular until they realise he hasn't got any food, he's just got a camera. Off they go. Right, back running for me. We're at about 12 miles and actually realised that drinking at Christmas and all that Christmas food isn't good for running or energy, but it is what it is. And I get to come say hello to these guys. Right, only 8 miles to go. Let's crack on. That was fun. I didn't want to look too cruel, running and making them all disperse. Right, onwards and upwards. Half marathon done, 1:49.30, and honestly, my legs feeling bits. It's almost like the alcohol's replaced all the water, and my legs are so dehydrated. Honestly, it's not fun now. Down at not enough minute mile in. Hips and legs ache. Not to the point they're injured, they're just hurting. And I run past my house at 16.5 miles and I just thought, let's just stop now. I tried, I failed. You know, I could carry on, but my hips are killing me now, legs are completely seized up, and I just can't carry on anymore. You know, for the sake of running, another 2.5 miles, I can't do it. So epic fail, challenge to run 20 miles, 22 on Christmas excess, and I failed. But you know, it's alright to give in on you when you're not feeling it. So I'll leave it there. I don't know what to say when you fail, when you do a DNF. Onwards and upwards from here. I was clearly onwards and downwards, and I will speak to you in the new year about how you're going to challenge yourself this year.